Hi family, welcome back to Ladensa Crochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're going to do part 1 of this awesome shoulder bag. I'll be using t-shirt yarn, and in this part, I'll be doing 3 panels for the bag, and then I'll join them. Then in the next part, I'll show you how to do the lining and the zipper to the bag. If you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly don't forget to leave a like, comment and share. Click on the thanks button if you want to appreciate this video in a special way. Let's get into it. We're going to need t-shirt yarn. I'm using this color purple, and then I'll need a 6mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a zipper and a sewing needle. Then I'll also need thread. We begin with a slip knot, just like this. So create the knot, and then we're going to chain 12. So the starting chain is 12. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then we're going to work in the back loops. Like these are the front loops right here. I'm going to turn to the other side and work in these loops that are at the back. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'll go in the 12th stitch, the 12th back loop. So I'll skip the first one, go into the second one, insert my hook and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops to complete a single crochet. Then I'll go into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop and complete a single crochet. Then I'm going to place 1 single crochet into all those loops at the back until I get to the end of row 1. And at the end of row 1, I should have a total of 12 single crochets. I'm at the end of row 1 and I'm placing my last single crochet. Then I'm going to fasten that knot just to make it tight, and that's row 1 done. So then we're going to chain 1. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. We're going to begin row 2 with an increase in the first stitch. So we're going to place a single crochet into that first stitch. Then go back into the same single crochet, the same stitch, and place another single crochet. Then in the stitches that follow, we're going to place 1 single crochet, then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then I'll place 1 single crochet into all the stitches until I get to the last stitch. Then I'll do an increase in that very last stitch. I'm at the end of row 2. In the last stitch, I'm going to place 2 single crochets. So that is 1 and 2. And that's the end of row 2. At the end of row 2, we should have 14 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Now, row 3 is going to be a row with no increase. So each of the stitches is going to get 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, 1 single crochet into the third stitch, and then I'll place 1 single crochet into all the stitches across. At the end of row 3, I should have a total of 14 single crochets. I'm coming to the end of row 3. just placing 1 single crochet into every stitch and a single crochet into the last stitch. So I have my 14 single crochets. Now we begin row 4. Right here I'm just counting to confirm that I have the right number of stitches. So then I'll chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Row 4 is going to be an increase row, so I'll place a single crochet in the first stitch and then I'll go back into that same stitch and place another single crochet. So we're going to have an increase at the beginning and at the end. All the stitches in between will get just 1 single crochet. So let me work 1 single crochet into all the stitches in the middle. Then at the end, I'll work 2 single crochets in the last stitch. I'm coming to the end of row 4 and right now I'm in the last stitch. So right there, I'm going to do 2 single crochets for that last increase. And now I have a total of 16 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 5. And row 5 is going to have 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single crochet into all the stitches. So at the end of row 5, we should still have 16 single crochets. Now from here, I'm not going to increase anymore. I'm going to just work 1 single crochet into every stitch for a total of 9 rows. So I'm in row 5, I'll work row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, and row 9. And then I'll come back once I'm done with the 9 rows. So from row 5 up to row 9, we're going to have a total of 16 single crochets in every row. I'm done with the 9 rows and this is what I have. So now we're going to work row 10, chain 1 and turn. And for row 10, we're going to work a total of 4 single crochets. So we start in the first stitch, place 1, then we have a second one, then a third, and a 4th single crochet. And that is where we stop. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 11. We start with a reduction. So insert your hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the second stitch and pull up another loop to get 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the 3 loops. Then 1 single crochet into the second stitch and 1 single crochet into the third stitch for a total of 3 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 12. Row 12, we begin with a single crochet and then the last 2 stitches we crochet them together. So pull up a loop in the second stitch and pull up a loop in the third stitch to get 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the 3 loops. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 13. And for row 13 we do a reduction so that we end up with just 1 stitch. Do the reduction like that and then we chain 1, pull up the yarn and cut off. So from here we are done. So I'm just going to cut off the yarn at that point, pull it through and fasten. So then we turn to the other side of our panel and we count 4 stitches from the end. Count 1, 2, 3 and 4. Insert your hook into the 4th, grab the yarn and pull up a loop just like that. Then using the longer side, chain 1, and the chain 1 will be our first single crochet. Then I'm going to work over the short end, go into the second stitch and place a single crochet. Into the third stitch we place a single crochet, then a single crochet next. This is row 10 on the other side. So we have 4 single crochets, chain 1 and turn to begin row 11. Start with a single crochet in the first stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch. Then for the last 2 stitches, we crochet them together. Insert your hook into the third and pull up a loop. insert into the fourth and pull up another loop, then yarn over and pull through the 3 loops, chain 1 and turn to begin row 12. We begin with a reduction in the first 2 stitches, just like that, and yarn over and pull through, then a single crochet into the last stitch. We have 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn, and for row 13 we're going to do a reduction in the 2 stitches, so crochet them together just like that, and then chain 1 and turn. So we're going to turn and then we're going to work a single crochet edging all the way around the panel. So we're going to turn the work and begin in the first row. So each of the rows is going to get a single crochet. So in that first row we place a single crochet just like that, go into the next row and place a second single crochet. Make sure that you're not skipping any row and you're not placing extra stitches in the rows. So I'm just counting to confirm my rows. I've already placed a single crochet in the first row. So these are 4 rows. So I'll just go into the second row and place a single crochet into the third row, a single crochet into the fourth row. Just make sure that you're not skipping any row and work all the way to the bottom. So I'll just go placing 1 single crochet into each of the rows till I get to the bottom. I'll work over the ends that are right there. So as I go, I'll make sure that I'm working over the ends just to weave them in. I'm in the last row, and in that row I'll place a single crochet. Then I'll turn onto the single crochet stitches, which were 12, and I'm going to place 1 single crochet into each of the stitches. So 1 single crochet up to the next corner, and then when I get to the other corner, I'll turn onto the rows and place a single crochet onto the rows all the way to the top. So let me do that. I'll meet you at the top. I'm in the last row at the top, and this is what I have so far. So then I'm going to turn to the other side. I'll place a single crochet on the very top part of the bag right there. Place a single crochet. Then I'll go back into the same space and place another single crochet, just so I can turn to the other side easily, so that we can have a nice curve over there. Then I'll turn onto the rows and place 1 single crochet into each of the 4 rows. So that is 1, and I'll work a second single crochet into the next row, a third single crochet into the row that follows, then a 4th single crochet into that other row. So right there we have the 4th single crochet, and that will get us to the stitches, very visible stitches down there. So we're going to skip the stitch where we ended right there. We skip that and work into the next one. So we're not working the stitch that is already worked in. So into the very next stitch, we're working a single crochet and then a single crochet across till we get to the next corner, that is. So one single crochet into each of the stitches. I'm in the last stitch, so I'll place a single crochet into it and then I'll turn onto the rows. Then I'll place one single crochet into each of the 4 rows. So this is the first. Then we have the next one, place a single crochet. Then we place a single crochet into the next row. A single crochet into the 4th row. And then a single crochet at the very top. Then from this point, I'll cut off the yarn. So I'll get my pair of scissors and cut the yarn, then pull it through, pull the yarn through, and then I'm going to go into the very first stitch that I began with and pull the yarn through. So just watch what I'm doing right here. I'm just making sure that I complete the point of completion is not too visible. And then right here, I'm just trying to weave in the ends. So I'm just passing the end through the stitches. And then I'll finally go onto the wrong side of the panel. And I'll also pass it through other stitches right there. So let me do that. Once I'm satisfied that the end is well hidden, I'll cut off whatever remains. Then I'll trim off these other ends that remained over there. The first panel of my bag is done and this is the right side. So now I'll go on and make a second one, which is completely identical to this. I have my 2 panels ready right here. And now I'm going to work a 3rd panel, which is going to connect the 2 panels and form a bag. So let's do that. Start with a slip knot. So right here, I'm creating the knot and then chain 5. Next, we're going to work in the back loops just like we did with the other panel. So chain 1 more and then we go into that 5th back loop or the 2nd back loop from the hook and place a single crochet, then a single crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the 3rd stitch, a single crochet into the 4th, then a single crochet into the 5th stitch right there. So do your last single crochet to complete row 1, then chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. So chain 1, turn, begin row 2 in the 1st stitch. We're going to place a single crochet into the 2nd stitch, a single crochet into the 3rd stitch, into the 4th stitch, and into the 5th. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3 and work a single crochet in the 1st stitch, a single crochet into the 2nd stitch, a single crochet into the 3rd stitch, into the 4th, and into the 5th. And we're done with row 3. So now we chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Work a single crochet into the 1st stitch and into all the stitches across. So from here until I get to a total of 60 rows, I'll just be working a row with 5 single crochets each. So let me do that, then come back and show you what to do next. I'm working my last row right here with just 1 single crochet into every stitch, and I've gotten to the end, so I'll do my last single crochet, chain 1, and right here we have the 60 rows. So if you want a longer strap for your bag, I would advise that you do more rows. You could do 70 or 80, but because I want a short strap for my bag, I think 60 rows will be enough. So get one of the panels and place it like this, and we're going to join this third panel with one of the panels, one of the main panels that we already did. Start in the first stitch at the top, insert your hook just like this. Then you're going to insert the hook into the first row, that last row that you've just done right there, and then pull that loop back into the hook, and then you're going to pull through to slip stitch. So pull through and slip stitch. Then we're going to go into the second stitch on the main panel, and the second row on this panel that we've done, pull up a loop and pull through to slip stitch. Then we're going to go into the third stitch and onto the third row, insert the hook, pull up a loop and pull through and slip stitch, just like that. So then we're going to go into the corresponding stitches and rows, and we're going to work a slip stitch just like this all the way around till we get to the top side of the panel on the other side. So let me keep going. I'm at the stitch at the top, and right there I'll do my last slip stitch, and I'm done with the joining of these two panels. So then this is what we have, as you can see. And now I'm going to get my pair of scissors and cut off the yarn at that point. So now I'll just pull a long loop, then cut the yarn and fasten. Then I'll turn to the other side and get the other panel and attach it at the top. So I'm supposed to weave in that end, but I'm going to weave both of them at the end once I'm done attaching the third panel. So this is what we're going to have. Get the third panel and place it on top. Make sure that you're on the right side of that panel. So we're going to place it on top like this. Then I'll turn and I'll start from the stitch at the top, insert the hook, and then I'll insert the hook into that first row of the third panel that we did. Then I'll get my yarn and do a slip knot. So make a slip knot. Then I'm going to pass it through the bottom part of my work. So we're starting from that top part right there. Then get that loop that I've created with the knot and pull it through. And we want to make sure that the yarn is on the inside part of the bag. So I'm just turning it like this and pulling that loop through to slip stitch. Then I'll go into the second stitch and the second row and pull up a loop and slip stitch. And we're just going to attach this panel just like we've attached the last two. Make sure that the stitches and the rows align and work all the way to the end of this panel that we are joining. I'm in that last stitch at the top and I'm just doing my last slip stitch. Then I'll pull the yarn to have a long end, then I'll cut it off and fasten. Then I want to tighten these two parts and make sure that my panel is secure. And so I'll get the hook and I'm going to pass this end to the inside part of the bag. So right there, I'll pass it onto the inside and tighten. Make sure that that part is very secure. Then I'll go onto a stitch on the inside and pull the yarn through, then do a single crochet. So I want to make sure that that part is secure. So I'll do the single crochet and then I'm going to weave that end inside the stitches on the wrong side of the bag. So right here, I'm just trying to weave it in. I'll do this on this side and then I'll do the same thing with the other end on the other side. Once I'm done weaving these ends on this side, I'll just go on and weave in all the other ends that are in the bag. And I'll come back once all my ends are weaved in. As I do the weaving, I'll make sure that I tighten all the parts that need to be tightened and make sure that everything is in place. So right here, this is what we have. My handle looks a bit short, but I'm going to work with that. When I'm working the next bag, I think I'll do a longer strap, and that is why I advised you to work more rows. So instead of working 60, I could have done 70 and the strap would have been a bit longer. So now we get to attaching the strap on this other side. I want to make sure that I'm joining from the wrong side of the bag, and this is what I'm going to do. Just turn the work like this, then I'll get the hook and the yarn and I'll just join the corresponding stitches, starting from the very first stitch and the first stitch on the other side, and then I'll pull up a loop. Now let me do a slip knot so that that part is secure. So make the slip knot and pull the yarn through. I'm just adjusting, then I'll pull my yarn through the two stitches like that so that I join them. Sorry, pull through, then I'll chain one, chain, go into the second stitch on this side and the second stitch on the other side and slip stitch just like that. Do a slip stitch and then chain one. So I'm chaining one and then go into the third stitch and the third stitch on the other side, connect them with a slip stitch. So I'm pulling the yarn through and doing a slip stitch, then chain one, and then we're going to go into the fourth stitch and the fourth stitch on the other side, do a slip stitch, then chain one, then into the fifth stitch we're going to do the same thing, slip stitch and then chain one, and we're done with that joining. So after that I'll pull my yarn. This is what I have so far, and my bag is taking shape. As you can see, I'm loving how it's going. So I'll pull the yarn and then cut it off. So just pull it, make it long, get a pair of scissors and cut it off. Once you cut it off, the next thing to do is secure that part and weave in the end on the inside part of the bag. And as I do that, I'm going to make sure that the joining at that corner is perfect. So I'll just go grab the yarn, pull it onto the inside part through the stitches at the corner, just pull the yarn through. I'm struggling a little bit to do that, but we've gotten it on the inside part of the bag, and then after that I'll weave it in, then I'll weave in all the other ends. This is what I have so far, and I'll stop here with part one. Then I'm going to do the zipper and the lining in the next part. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, comment and share. The link to the next part will be in the description box.